The Grand River is the largest river in southern Ontario. At a length of 280 kilometers, these flowing waters allowed for the construction of mills and dams to help make the life of early settlers in Ontario a little bit easier. On this week's episode of Never Stop Learning, we will be visiting 5 locations along the Grand River, where the spirits of the dead refuse to rest, and the dark shadows of the past still haunt the living. Number 5. The old German mill was built in 1867 out of local limestone by the German family. Once completed, the mill was used to manufacture yarn and wool blankets on the banks of the Grand River near the town of Glen Morris. This location is very ominous and is linked to not just one, but 2 tragic events. The first happened in 1886 when a young girl lost her life after she was caught in the mill race, which is the channel for the water that drives the mill wheel. She was swept under the mill and drowned before she could be rescued. The mill was in service until 1898, when it was closed and converted into a lodge where guests could stay the night. In 1941, a guest at the lodge by the name of Dan Hoover was murdered. He was shot to death, but his killer was never found. This location has a history of glowing orbs as well as high EVP activity, especially at night, and is generally a spooky location to visit after the sun goes down. Number 4. The Haunted Boat. In the early days of the Grand River Navigation Company, a fishing vessel capsized along the Grand River with 14 men aboard. 3 of the men managed to hold on to the keel of the ship, hoping for rescue, but the river was moving too quickly, and it was deemed impossible to reach the boat. After the entire crew had drowned, the ship proceeded to right itself before steering directly into the shoreline of the river. The vessel lodged securely to the banks of the river, but no one would go near it. The following year, it was dragged across the ice and placed in a line of trees next to the old mill on Forfar Street, close to where the train bridge is located today. Legend states that while the boat was being dragged across the ice, workers at the mill would later say they saw the undead crew shuffling along the ice behind their ship. The following year, a farmer by the name of Thomas was riding on his horse when he was stopped by an unknown man asking to be given a hand. Thomas said he would help, but his horse kept trying to get away. When he arrived at the boat, the farmer could see 13 men all standing around, looking quite dead. This was when he remembered the boat crash, and as quickly as he could, he whipped his horse around and set off on a gallop, vowing never to travel along this road again. Number 3. The Haldeman House was built by James Little in 1837 along the main road traveling through Caledonia. This stagecoach stop was also a restaurant and hotel, allowing weary travelers a chance to stop for a hot meal and some rest. It also served as a campaign headquarters for William Lyon Mackenzie. Mediums at this location have reported the ghost of an old man smoking a pipe on the 2nd floor. In 1996, when the cafe in the Haldeman House was completed, 2 women who had opened a bake shop approached the owner about supplying goods for his coffee shop. This was when the curtains on the windows all flipped up and the door slammed. The owner stated this was their resident ghost, Walter Richardson. The owner also claims that steps can be heard upstairs when no one is up there. If you've enjoyed this episode so far, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to see everything else this channel has to offer. Number 2. Caledonia is most recognized by the NineSpan Bridge that crosses the river in the center of the city. It was originally opened on November 27, 1927, but before that, Caledonia had 2 other bridges. The second, a 6-span iron bridge, was built with a gate at the north end. A toll was put in place to cross the bridge. It cost 25 cents for a team of horses, or 15 for a single horse. During the winter, many people would simply cross the ice that built up along the river to avoid paying the toll. Jessie McGregor was told by her mother to cross the river and buy some baked goods at Jones's Bakery. She was given enough money for the goods and the toll, but Jessie had a craving for something sweet, so she decided to skip the toll and cross over the thinning spring ice. She made it across safely and bought her goods. On her way back, she noticed some cracks in the ice, but having already spent her toll, she had no choice but to attempt the crossing. When she was about halfway across the river, the ice gave way beneath her horse. This started a chain reaction which cracked the ice all the way up to the dam. The chilling waters rushed down towards her and pulled her under. To this day, if you listen closely while under the bridge or along the southern riverbank, you can still hear her screams, and people have claimed that they can feel the touch of someone grabbing at their ankles as if trying to escape the icy waters. Number 1. Indiana, Ontario is a completely abandoned town just minutes away from the nearby community of Cayuga. Located by the Grand River, the town was once a home for a robust community that thrived on the lumber transportation business. Today, all that is left is the Thompson Mansion. This is a hotspot for paranormal activity thanks to the haunted graveyards within the town. One ghost that still haunts the town is that of a young girl named Little Bessie. According to an old letter written by the father of the Thompson family, Bessie suffered a painful death in the 1800s from diphtheria at the age of 11 years old. Guests have reported seeing her at the top of the stairs in the main corridor. So that's 5 locations along the Grand River where the spirits of the dead refuse to rest. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to see everything else this channel has to offer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.